quite a bit to say, but I'm going to cut it kind of short. And, you know, the mayor kind of went over what the highlights of the county budget is. I appreciate all the time the mayor has put into having the budget workshops with us as a commission. It's really helped us understand the budget process and where taxpayer dollars are being spent and focused. And he said on the county side of the budget, we're going to have a focus on public education. Let me tell you all this, okay? There's no other probably two groups of professionals I value more than our police officers that go out every day and keep us safe, the men and women. I value them, I value our veterans, I also value our teachers, especially since I've become a commissioner and gotten involved and gotten in the classroom and seen what our teachers go through and heard the personal stories. And so let me just say that I hope, if we don't accomplish anything else in this budget, that we do get our police officers, our emergency personnel a pay increase. I also hope that we get our teachers a pay increase. The county budget is online. If you want to go look at it, you are welcome to call me about any questions you may have. They're what we talked about, what's been in the news, because I got the same phone calls after the mayor did, not long after I got out of a meeting, asking about the meeting, is a 15-cent tax increase. And for you that don't really understand what that number means, 1 cent, 1 penny, brings in $1 million. So 15 cents would be $15 million. That's easy math. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll tell you where I'm at. I was here in 2017. Well, let's back up to 2014 when I ran for office. I ran on a conservative platform that I would look out for your tax dollars, that I would be accountable, I would be transparent, and I would look out for your pocket. I also ran that I would advocate for a new middle school out here. And thank God we're getting that. And I also advocated for public safety. And I have been true to my campaign promises. When, back in 17, when we had passed a balanced budget with no tax increase, and then we had meetings, we started having meetings with the mayor and staff, and found out the needs of those times and how serious it was. It was very hard for someone who ran on a conservative platform going into an election year, and I was running for re-election in 18, going into an election to raise taxes. But I will tell you, I was convicted. That's a strong word. I was convicted that the need was there and that we needed to do it because of the state of our schools. All the deferred maintenance and the need for the middle school out here, our jail, you know, we were being threatened for the jail being shut down by a federal magistrate. That was horrifying. And of course the wastewater treatment issue, which still is not resolved yet. But I was convinced that we had to have more revenue. So I voted to leave the millage rate where it was, which equated to a tax increase for all of you in this room, I'm sure. And I've heard all the stories. I've been getting all the phone calls. My taxes went up $250. And let me just give you an example. This tax increase, if it were passed, the 49 cents on a $200,000 home would be about $240 more a year. There's not many homes in District 7 that are $200,000 or less. Most of our property value is a lot more than that. So you can figure what kind of increase this would be. And I'll just tell you, I've been vocal. I'm one of these, I do my homework and I wait to weigh in until my mind's made up. I don't believe there's anyone sitting in this room, if so, I apologize, raise your hand, that has voted for a tax increase. I have, 20 months ago. You all didn't see it till long after that, when you got your tax bill and then eventually paid your bill. So for me, as a commissioner, running on a conservative platform, to be asked to raise taxes again this soon, this much, I will tell you all, I'm a no vote as of today. I'm a no vote. I've been very candid with the media when they've called me because I want to know where I stand, because I've watched this. And let me just share some reasons why, and I'm not going to get into everything. First of all, I want to brag and commend our superintendent. I just went through a leadership class he did. He is doing a phenomenal job. I want to commend him. What he's done with the Future Ready Institutes and what he's done engaging the business community and involving them and getting our students ready for the workforce is phenomenal. I'm his greatest cheerleader. I want to see his success continue, but there are some missing pieces to the puzzle that I really would need to raise taxes right now. One being the test scores are not back. Now, they've been following it with benchmarks. I believe that their benchmarks are indicating that we will see gains and increases. But I've not seen those numbers. I don't know that our test scores are going up. So that's a big missing piece of the puzzle for me. Also, the facilities assessment, which has been referred to many times this evening, the school board voted to spend $500,000 to hire a firm to look at our facilities. I think they needed to do that. What are we dealing with? Are there some schools that need to be shut down? Is there some consolidation that needs to take place so we can do things more efficiently? Definitely, and they do have some tough decisions coming up. But we don't know that number. I suspect it's going to be $500 million. It may be more. But how do we really know what the true need is today without that information? And what I don't want is to raise taxes in 2017, raise taxes in 2019, raise taxes in 2020 or 21. I don't even want to be faced with that. Now, some things I'll share with you. There was some growth mentioned. Some numbers I looked at with the Department of Education is that they will get an additional get the exact number here, $18,944,123 in growth. Their finance person shared with me that it would cost about $12.5 million to give the raises. I hope they give them. I hope they do, and I hope they do it out of that $19 million. Something else, you wonder if we value education. Let me just share with you some numbers since I've been on the commission. 2015 first budget that we had after I was elected, the Department of Ed's total budget was $399,171,000. As of 2019, it was $440,256,738. That's a $41 million increase in just from 2015 to 2019. So we value education. If this budget were to pass, fiscal year 20, their budget would have gone up over that same time period, including this budget, $101 million. In capital, over the last 10 years, we've spent almost $284 million in capital. So I feel like, from the county's perspective, we have fully vested in education, and we hadn't just talked the talk, but we walked the walk, in my opinion. They shared with us that 2 in 5 kindergartners, only 2 in 5, let me make sure I get this right, are deemed ready for school when they come to school. It's because of what they're dealing with in their home life. Can money fix that? Can money fix that? It's a societal problem, and it's very unfortunate. It breaks my heart. I would do anything. If I had the magic potion, I would, break it out tomorrow, but I don't see how money can fix that. So as a commissioner, these are things that I am struggling with. And to go to the taxpayers and say we want more money, it's just, I'm open to hearing from all of you. I want to see our teachers get a raise. I want to see our students be successful. Like I said earlier, opening up this evening, I think our students and our teachers are our greatest resources. I want to see our police officers get a raise. I have a son in Iraq right now. He's been in Iraq since before Thanksgiving, will not be coming home until probably September, if then. And he's a police officer. He works for the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department. He worked at the jail 4 years. I know how deplorable the conditions are, what they go through, and the enormous overtime they work. And I appreciate you. And I want to do all I can to see if we can find a way to increase your pay within our budget, within our means. But I'm really struggling coming to you, the taxpayers. When we don't even have all the information in, I think it's premature. We don't know what the facilities assessment is going to show. We don't know what the test scores are going to be. I hope they're through the roof. Because like I said, I'm the superintendent's biggest cheerleader, and I will brag on our county mayor too. He's been very conservative, and I know when he stood up here and said raising taxes is the last resort. He meant that because he's got a long history that shows that. So at this time, that's all I'm gonna say. I had a lot more to say, so y'all got it easy this evening. I'm passionate about this. I want to make sure I make the right decision. I want to make sure I make the right decision for all of you. I've had a number of phone calls. People have shared heart-wrenching stories with me of how they struggle and they choose between buying medication versus paying their electric bill. These are real life stories too. So as a commissioner, I have to weigh all this out. I would like to ask Mark King with the Sheriff's Department to come up. I want every side to be heard this evening.